It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy.
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Huh, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bet the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What? You got to have vision. You got to have vision.
Limousine, and every time I'm seen, I got to be clean.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society. And
Yes, he destroy black boys. 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 If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. I just left. 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 I just left a lot in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
Yeah, well, gotta get a piece of my.
You hear what I said?
Yes, bitch, I heard you. I'm pretending like I didn't.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Your feet. He looked down, seen her feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously. Can you?
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am, chilling.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who.
I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it. My eye, plus I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok get all of their dances from the black content creators.
You're a philosopher? Yeah. You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well then, show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children. We're big men. I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favors. All we want is what's ours. Now, there are many black veterans who are coming back, and they're mad. They're angry. Do you think that they're going to sit down through this? Our fathers didn't have the knowledge that we have. They sat through it. But there are other black youth that are not going to sit through it. We know about Che. We know about Fanon. We've read the books of our revolution. We've listened to Mao and his quotations. We know where we stand. We're not going to sit for it. We're asking, and if we ask and we don't get, we're prepared to stand up and take it. If I ask a man, I tell a man I am hungry. I tell him I am cold. And I ask him to do something about my condition. And this man holds a loaf of bread right in front of me so I can see it, and I keep asking him, I'm begging him to please give me a slice of the loaf of bread. I am hungry. Then it is known by every psychologist that the next step in the progression is I am going to knock him upside the head and take the bread from him. I'm not going to starve to death.
Physical and mental torture. But that's all right, because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution. Right. You might run a liberator like Eric Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting, and if you do, the party, that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You've got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the pastors are doing. That's what the pastors are doing all over the world.
Dance with me. Dance with me. Oh yeah. Dance with me.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you.
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky? You got to pray to God and tell God your rent due. Any God that didn't know your rent was due ain't God.
Some people, they feel like you almost have to sell your soul to get fame, or is it just hard work, or is it luck, is it consequence, is it?
No, most of us in sold our soul. We just call it something else.
Daddy.
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass. And then
Come with baggage, just I asked Louis was on. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I like that. Bitch niggas, hoe niggas, rich niggas, broke bitch. I told niggas this was on, yeah, right here.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it?
I think we OD'd.
the Chinese platform, the Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
For my word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my baby.
You got
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the dude. Heavy, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice, and pulls up in the dude.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
No idea the condition that we're in, the psychoneurosis that we suffer. We suffer terrible, terrible blight. We don't know who we are. We use European names, and we just are comfortable with our condition. We really don't know who we are. We have no idea. We're captive, and we absolutely comfortable with this situation.
Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. Well, this is the morning of the not make European feel guilty day. This is the morning of it. You get a day off for not making them feel guilty. They like, look, we gave you a day off. We're not going to give you reparations, but we can give you the motherfucking day off. And that'll make it fine, but first you got to buy a lot of food. You got to spend from us. Even though we're giving you the day off, you're going to give it back by you spending money with us. So that's what did. His liquor store was fuller than a motherfucker. I mean, I was like, damn. Because I guess mostly, because tomorrow's not really like Christmas, it's where everything shuts down. Everything don't totally shut down tomorrow like it does on Christmas. But, yeah, so it was a trip today. But finally, Now, you know, where I live here in Minnesota, it is super European, you know. But like you wouldn't think culturally, you would think food and shit would be available, the same kind of food. No, no. Like where I live, you can't buy greens. I mean, you can get them harsh ass greens that you gotta boil for half a day to eat the motherfuckers, but to get royal or Sylvia greens, you gotta go to the hood. You gotta go to where more niggas live. So my wife's like, I'll make a trip for you because when I lived in Prior Lake, it was the same way. Prior Lake, you could not buy, they didn't carry greens. It's a Target, it's Cub. Matter of fact, Hy-Vee. These is huge. Hy-Vee's a huge store. If y'all don't have Hy-Vee's, it's one of the biggest grocery stores you can go in. I mean, they got a bread department, they got a fish department, they got a meat department. They sell stir fry live. They sell Chinese food live, pizza shit live. I mean, it's these little restaurants. They got a big ass restaurant in this motherfucker, and it's a supermarket. So, but they didn't have motherfucking greens. So it's a culture thing. You dig? I'm gonna say this. God, what did I say? Open your mind and enjoy. Did y'all get that? I sent that out there, and please forgive me if I was, people tell me that, you know, you should warn people like that, but anybody get that out there? Open your mind and enjoy. That's what I sent out there. So if you got that, that came from me. Please don't take it as obtrusive because I had no obtrusive feelings for that. I just sent that out there. So what's happening? Let's see the party people that's here with me tonight. Hey, Jamar, 3224.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
We got El Dragon, Amaru Khan, and the Calm. What's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
You got Joey. What's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
We got PJ Allen.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
I think that's everybody. About to set up fry. What you say? You about to set up the oil to fry all the turkey as we? Did y'all see the picture on Facebook where somebody had an oil fryer in their house? That would kill you. You burning all that gas and stuff. And if the shit blows up or that tank blows up, yeah, I was like, and you got all that hot grease in the house like that? I was like, that shit ain't safe. That shit ain't safe at all. So be safe. Be safe and thaw your turkey before you stick it in an air fryer because it's like a mini explosion. Told you, my brother-in-law did that shit, and that shit shot up in the air. That shit, they took, and I've told this story many times, but that motherfucker shot up in the air. I told him, I was like, don't put that motherfucker in there, man. It's frozen. Oh, it'll be okay. I'm like, okay, I'll start backing up. That motherfucker's like, why you backing up? That motherfucker shot. Like, do you remember how you could put tennis balls in cans? Like you could kind of weld a bunch of tennis cans when they was all metal. You could weld them together and you'd have a little mini cannon about that big. And you put a little lighter fluid in there with that tennis ball and it'll shoot that tennis ball out like a cannon. That's what sticking a cold turkey is like, sticking it in that grease. It shot that shit out. Now, I don't know if y'all can redo that, but that shit was funny when I saw it. Like the restaurant. I have electric one. Fuck that. Oh, okay. I feel you. That's even better. That's even better. Yeah, you got to be careful fucking with that hot ass grease. You know, motherfuckers don't realize that shit. That's I don't know. It's like the temperature of grease is like enormously hot that you have to get to cook them motherfuckers. And don't forget to shoot it all up with shit too. You know, my dumbass brother-in-law was trying to shoot the shit up while it was frozen. My ex-brother-in-law, he's trying to shoot the shit up and put the shit in there when it's frozen. I'm like, man, are you? I'm like really just laughing at him, but you know. And here's the thing, like, I don't really like turkey like that. Not really like a turkey, open turkey. I'll eat stuffing. I'll eat turkey salad that, you know, from the next day in the cut up. I don't mind thin pieces, but just big fat chunks of meat. I don't really, and I don't eat ham. You know, I'll eat maybe ribs once a year. I don't eat pork loin. I don't eat pork chops. I've never liked pork steak. That's some nasty, cheap ass, nasty shit. and I won't eat ham. I won't eat ham. Oh, here's something for y'all. Who out there knows what country ham are? Do y'all know what country ham are? You know, that was how they first was able to preserve the hams, and that is some super salty shit. And I was telling my daughter, if I didn't mention this the other day, Wednesday, like I'd be on the motherfucking plane, and my father wanted some Rebel Yell, which was a half gallon. This tell you how long ago it was. I would get on the plane with a half gallon of Rebel Yell and a motherfucking country ham. Because they didn't sell, Rebel Yell is a type of whiskey, and they didn't sell that shit in Michigan. So he would always send me some bread to get him one of them salty ass hams. Country ham is saltier than a motherfucker. Yeah. Because you can order I heard somebody order it somewhere the other day. He's like, can I have some country ham? Maybe it was Old Country Buffet. Maybe no, it would be Country Kitchen, maybe some shit like that. Now that ain't it. Cracker Barrel. It was Cracker Barrel. Yeah. Dr. Sinister, what's happening?
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Oh, I like that. Happy Thanks Taken. For real. I'm about an hour or two. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You about to shoot that shit up. Yeah. I mean, back when they first started, it was just two you could get. It was the lemon and the Cajun. And that was the first two that they released, and now you can get a bunch of different kinds. But first, when they first started selling that shit, it was lemon to shoot it up to taste like lemon or shoot it up to taste Cajun. And the Cajun was more of a barbecue-y, so you shoot it up right, it was really barbecue tasted. To me, more than the Cajun spicy, it tasted more barbecue-y than Cajun, but that's what they used to offer. Man, we PG, I don't know if y'all got snow in Ohio. We got about an inch Thursday, Wednesday. Yeah, I think Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday. When I came on, then the next day it shit melted away. But the hill since the last, we are probably on, let's see. Where this is Thursday morning, Wednesday, this is Thursday day. No, this is Wednesday. So since Tuesday afternoon, it's gotten colder here. And so the snow hill, which is, I live near a ski place, a ski resort, I guess. Well, there's no hotels or nothing. Ski hill, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You could ski, snowboard, you can inner tube. It's a little bit of everything that you want to do on this motherfucker. And they got the thing that would, lift your ass up the giant hill, or they got smaller hills, whatever the fuck you want to do. But they've been making snow. And so yesterday when I was coming home, I come home right in front of the road. Like on the highway, the first day it is usually wet. Sometimes those blowers blow onto the highway, and you going over a bridge, so it can get icy at times, but not bad. And so the weirdest thing, so my daughter had an appointment this morning, and I bring up the ski hill because I'm not sure if these two things are related, but we were going to Prior Lake, and I live about 15 minutes from Prior Lake. Depends, like some parts of it only 10, 12 minutes, but where I went probably good 14 minutes because I had to go downtown. It's a little small town. But anyway, so as we're driving there and we're going on the highway, we can see in front of us, my daughter, we can see like a mile in front of us, it's snow everywhere. And it's like, we're like looking at each other, like when I said that to my daughter, I was like, where's snow come from? So we hit this area called Credit River. And if you know anything about Noble Drew Ali, one thing Noble Drew Ali said is, he said, get some land, everybody, and get a charter and establish a township. And that's exactly what these people do. I mean, it's some nice cribs out there, but it's really no money other than the land. There's no stores or anything out there. So the money is just in the land and the taxes they get from the land, but they incorporated, got their own cops and everything. But anyway, I only mention that. Yeah, to get the incorporated part. But anyway, I only mention that because it is snow. I mean, like an inch of snow. It's snow in the road. It's snow on both sides. We go about 2 minutes through snow, and then there ain't no snow. Now again, we're a good 5 miles, I'm guessing, from the ski hill. I just like it was one pocket you could see because like I looked down some streets and the streets had snow far as I could see. So the odds that it blew like the ski hill snow blew in this area and just blew south, I don't know how. I doubt it. As far as I saw it was snow down some of these streets, I doubt it could do that. But so that was just the weirdest where a little snowstorm came. Now that you talking about artificial looking, that shit was just totally artificial where it was only like a mile of snow, but on both sides. And it's like it's a golf course over there. Snow covered on the golf course, the field is covered, and it was just like one little patch of where the snow came. So you talking about, and what I used to notice too is when they would make snow, it would snow everywhere. Like that one winter we had 92 inches, maybe 2 winters ago. Every time they would make snow over there, it would start snowing. If we hadn't had a snow in a couple days, then motherfuckers started making snow everywhere with snow. So it didn't happen this time, but it's colder than the motherfucker. It's 23 above, so it's been, I got the fur coat back there. It's nothing but fur coats. Here in Kentucky, we haven't gotten any snow yet, but we're supposed to get some on Saturday. Let me tell you, like we getting that cold. We ain't getting that nasty weather that's out east, all the slush and shit, but we getting that cold. Like right now, the computer says 23. My phone. Oh yeah. Up here, this is the forecast. So 22. So it's gonna be 22, 21 by early morning. And then tomorrow, it's only going to be, it's only going to get a high of 26 tomorrow. So, yeah, it's going to be cold, but no snow. Cold, but no snow. And then Friday, Black Friday, it's only supposed to get, it's going to be down to 10 degrees. So, and they say most of the stores open at most of the stores open at 6. I want to see if I can find this for y'all. Is that it? Oh yeah, this is it. Let's see if I can bring this up. I don't know if y'all hip to this place, but this is Filson. I think that's how you say it. Filson. Yeah, Filson. Yeah. And let me show you. Let me see if this is going to get it. Oh, they ain't got the one. But this is some good quality. You already see the prices is coming down, but they're even going to come down more because he showed me kind of how it's going to work. Because, this stuff is kind of in style. I have some Filson jeans. Like, this is tough. And this is kind of in style. This kind of thing is in style. So, now, I don't know if I'm really in love with the lumberjack or not. Is this the one I was looking for? No, this ain't the one I'm looking for. I don't know if I really like the lumberjack, but the quality is great of this stuff. Let's see. I don't see the coat that I'm considering. No, I don't see it. Is this it? Okay, you're not gonna show it to me? This ain't it. No, that ain't it either. That's not it. It's somewhere else. But this stuff is going on sale. They have, I don't see it. But they have a jean jacket. It's a jean jacket with this inside. It's lined inside like this. And you see this jacket, by Friday, it's going to even go cheaper. And this really ain't bad here. This stuff is kind of, and I mean, this stuff is great quality. And this jacket is what, $500. This is great quality. Now, everything's not going on sale here. because we got one of these at our outlet. But look, the quality of stuff is just I mean, this jacket would last you for years, you know. So the quality, but yeah, this lumberjack look is inside. Yeah, it's inside of a coat, and this is great material too. I don't know if this coat is going to be on sale, so. But we have one, and they got that jean jacket I'm looking at with that lumberjack interior lining. That jacket is normally $385, and I think he said that I think everything is 50% off, so it'll be 50% off of $385. I think he said all the orange. He said all the orange. So and while I'm talking about clothes, it was only one pickup. It was really only one pickup today. I got these polo cords, and they're blue. And you know, most of my warm-ups and shirts is all blue. So this is and this was normally $125. So I got this for roughly $62. Because I got so much to match that. So when I didn't even plan on buying any, but the outlet stores got 50% off of everything. So, and it seemed like some of that stuff they done put up. It's kind of fun. I'm like, they done put some of this shit up. Oh, let me start. You know how I always start with my picks. So let me start with my picks. So I did lose the last Thursday game, which made me 9-4? Yeah, 9-4 last week. So you know, I've been killing it. So it's only one game I'm still questioning. The Colts and the Pats at the Pats. And the Colts ain't that great, but neither are the Pats. So that's my only question. So I'll think of that. But for tomorrow's games, we got the Lions and the Bears. You know, that's since I was a little boy, it used to be used to only be the Lions and the Bears, or the Lions and the Packers, or the Packers and the Bears. But it was always the Lions. I think the tradition goes back to the 50s. I think the Lions started playing in the 50s on Thanksgiving Day, especially when the Lions won the championship, because they won it, 55, 56? No, 54, 55. Then I think they won 57, 55, 54. They won it 2 years in a row, and this was the NFL and not the modern NFL, not the Super Bowl era. But so it's always, you know, been those three teams played for sure. And then in the 70s, they added the night game to the Cowboys. They gave the Cowboys the night game. So the Lions and Bears, I got the Lions. Giants and Cowboys, I've got the Cowboys. Dolphins and Packers, the Dolphins struggle in the cold weather. I got the Packers. Raiders and Chiefs, I got the Chiefs. Texans, Jaguars, I got the Texans. Texans lost, I think, 3 in a row or 4 in a row, so they're about due for a win. Colts and Pats, I'm going to go with the Pats at home. Chargers, Falcons. Chargers just lost the game, but I still think their defense will be on, because the defense actually played well the other night. They had Lamar Jackson to deal with. So Seahawks and Jets, I got the Seahawks. Titans and Commanders, I got the Commanders at home. They've been on a losing streak too. Steelers, Bengals, I got the Steelers on the road. Cardinals, Vikings, of course, the Vikings. We still might go to this game. I'm not sure yet. Rams, Saints, I got the Rams on the road. I don't know. Saints been playing better at home. Rams just lost, though. I think I'm going to switch that to Saints. Rams ain't that impressive. I don't know. I think I'm going to go back to the Rams. I think the Rams defense was not that bad. Okay, we got the Bucks and the Panthers. I got the Bucks at home. We got the Eagles and the Ravens. I've got the Eagles beating the Ravens in Baltimore. 49ers, Bills. I got Bills. And then who is this? Browns and Broncos. I got the Broncos. So I got Lions, Cowboys, Packers, Chiefs, Texans, Pats, Chargers, Seahawks, Commanders, Steelers, Vikings, Rams, Bucks, Eagles, Bills, and Broncos. Now, I just want to get this little bit of political thought out before we go too much further. Now, people are so, especially Republican folks are so nervous and all that. But one thing they will not do, and Trump won't do, and none of them would do, is they keeping them fences up. Don't you know that the majority of my life that place wasn't fenced up and fenced off to people? So they've been expecting some kind of rebellion. And this is why they put that up there. And it's like no matter, Trump ain't taking all that shit down. That shit's staying up there where they all fenced off from the people. Now, if they was ever going to do that, you'd have thought they would have did that years ago, like during the Civil War or something. Put old fences up around to protect Abe, build barricades and ramparts. None of that, though. And none of that's coming down. None of that's coming down. So wanted to get that little bit in there. Of the of the bullshit news, Puffy got denied again. Keep your black ass in jail, Puffy. He was trying to say, well, can you just put me on an island or somewhere? That is just the silliest of the silly shit, just to keep us damn. Who's this nigga? I don't know who this nigga is. In the morbid news, actor Julian Arnold dies in theater during the Christmas Carol performer. A Canadian stage actor who founded the Shakespeare Theatre Company, Free Will Players, died 24th after having a medical emergency during performance of the Christmas Theater. He was 60. While the specifics of his medical issues have not been disclosed, paramedics arrived at the theater around 8 p.m. and performed multiple resuscitation attempts. Who was playing the role of Marley. Lights passing announced to be modified the remaining dates. Wow. Oh, this cat. Okay. I don't know what he played in before, but this cat was on. He was telling the, shaking the chains and shit. Sorry to hear that. Rest well. Rest well. Rest well. Don't see much more in the morbid. The only okay, huh? Oh, this is Roosevelt. This was saying the only U.S. president's son killed in action. Roosevelt's son, I'm pretty sure, was killed in a plane. Yeah, so it looks like no morbid news tonight, y'all. Probably taking a break from the weirdness. Nobody needs to be sacrificed. Wait. Oh, this is interesting. I guess this is a little bit on the morbid side. Check this shit out. Police officer who tased 95-year-old woman found guilty of manslaughter. I mean, damn, like, what did grandma do that made the dude have to tase her? What did he do? Like, stay back, lady, I'm going to tase you. And if she had any kind of dementia or anything, she's moving super slow. Did she have a pistol in her hand? I mean, I'm not comprehending why he would tase this old lady. Even if she had dementia and was going a little wild, you could hold her off with one arm. So he should be held for manslaughter. What does it say? Australian police officers found guilty of manslaughter on Wednesday for deploying a taser on a 95-year-old woman with dementia while responding reported at her nursing home that she was armed with a knife. Come on, all you gotta do is put a couple, you know how they do on TV? They put a couple rags around their hands and you can fight her off with the rag. A senior constable in New South Wales used his taser on Claire Newland on May. Oh, this is old. After finding her alone in a treatment room with a serrated steak knife, the shock caused Newland, who was only 5'2", and used the walker to fall to the floor and hit her head. She died from the injuries a week later. Ooh, I mean, really? He couldn't have talked her down, be like, hey, look over there, and then take the knife from her. You know, it'd have been easy to hoodwink a lady with dementia. She's like, I got my blade. Oh, this is what he looks like. Okay. Video footage played in court showed the encounter at the nursing home. They had it on film. I want to see the film. It's a small town south of Sydney. Lasted about 2 or 3 minutes before Wild said, nah, bugger it. What? Nah, bugger it. What the fuck does that mean? Nah, bugger it. And use his taser. So he said that to her. Nah, bugger it. He couldn't have, like, you could have used your baton and blocked the knife with the baton or tapped her on her hand. You know, be like, tapped her on her hand, you know, goddamn. Said his use of taser responsible, proportionate use of force. White's attorney said, oh no, and that Nolan had not complied with orders to drop the knife. However, prosecutors argued that White's use of taser was excessive given Nolan's age and frail state and how slowly she was moving. They are also arguing that White's statement of bugger it. Nah, bugger. Didn't he say nah? Did he add nah? Nah, bugger it. Before blowing the taser, a term used to express a nor of frustration, indicated that White was impatient rather than fearing imminent violence. As the attorney for White did not immediately respond to email requested. Damn, it's kind of funny. Oh, a terrible tragedy to the Nayland family. Oh man, she's had too many cigarettes. His employment is under review. Who celebrates 75th birthday by climbing Sydney Harbor Bridge and her 80th birthday skydiving before becoming more frail in a year. She's survived by 8 children and a bunch of mugs. Police guidelines state a taser should not be used against elderly or disabled people unless exceptional circumstances. There's nothing exceptional. You know, you could have, like, he could have had some fun with it. He could have been like, hey, come stab me. And like, ole, you know, that's what instead of saying, nah, Booker. I'm going to cut you if you come one step closer. Nah, bugger it. What the fuck does that shit even mean? Oh, and then his own words. They got him on tape, and he's like, nah, bugger it. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is so funny. I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but it's kind of a funny story. Damn, a controversial American live streamer. He looks African. This cat's African. I bet you anything he's African. I told you. Okay, here we go. This cat's got to be African. A controversial American live streamer is facing the prospect of prison in South Korea for offensive antics. What? It's a jail. They got like you can rent a chicken to live with you. You can rent her and she'll cook for you and do all your clothes. So, man, he must have really been weird. In a case that is shining light on the rise of so-called nuisance influencers seeking clicks overseas, Ramzi Khalid Ismail, commonly known online as Johnny Somali. Jolly Somali. Oh, okay. Jolly Somali. I bet that nigga's from here. Doctors causing a commotion at a convenience store. If convicted, he 5 years he had a commotion. What the fuck did he do at the store? Let's find out. This nigga caused a commotion. He has been a departure ban has been placed on Ismo, preventing him from leaving the country while authorities continue their investigation. They had reached out to him for comments unclear if he has an attorney who built a reputation online for his provocative, often highly offensive video stunts have been banned by media social companies after he was accused by critics of harassing locals in countries across Asia in an apparent effort to boost his own online ship. Yeah, nothing wrong with a obnoxious Johnny Somali. The live streamer have combined the following five figures across has a following in the low five figures across Instagram, TikTok, and Rumble. CNN reached out to all platforms, but did not immediately hear back. Early this month, he posted an online apology. He was accused of desecrated Korean monument to women who subject to sexual slavery in World War II, causing widespread outages in the country. Angry locals threatened reprisals against the live streamer. An online post following the incident. Footage subsequently broadcast by CNN showed Ismo being kicked as a group of people followed him. Damn. Separately, a man was arrested last month, allegedly punching him in the face. Damn, he got offed it. The public backlash in South Korea appeared to reflect a broader frustration in the region with foreigners who exploit local customs, online fame. He being an extreme example of bad behavior. According to Japanese news reports, foreign content creators recently have been accused of a string of transgressions, from dodging railway fares to doing pull-ups on shrine garden and nuisance dancing. See, they don't like all that nigga acting. Niggas want to just bust out dancing everywhere that ain't okay. Record visitor numbers. Let's say, and besides with sentiment on mass tourism, many Japanese people as the country experiences record visitor numbers. I didn't know motherfuckers wanted to go over these places so bad. Early this month, a 65-year-old tourist was arrested in Tokyo for allegedly carving letters into a shrine. Damn, why? For just 2 months after a 61 Asian man was arrested for having sex on the grounds of a shrine. Damn, you ain't had nowhere else to go. Last year, a live streamer was arrested in Ogashawa in suspicion of trespassing construction site. According to the Kobe News, Ismail caused outage in Japan by providing videos of himself taunting commuters about the atomic bombs. Damn, well, hurling insults. Damn, Jolly Somali. Okay. Yeah, you know that nigga from here. You know he from here. Seeking clicks, not chicks. Seeking clicks, not chicks. Yeah. Jolly Somali. Damn. Jolly Somali's a motherfucker. It's just the weirdest. The world is weird, y'all. Motherfuckers will do anything for fame. Anything for fame. Anything for clicks. Because I'll be looking at this shit and it's motherfuckers be, I don't know. It's like, I'm not better than anybody, but I'm 1,000% deeper than a lot of motherfuckers. I know that for a fact. So the people that get this sauce, I wonder if this is that article I came across. Man, let me see. Is this the article? But they say that Harris, and I'll just show her. They say that Harris spent $600,000. She spent $600 million. She spent $600 million on advertisement. She spent something like $20 to $50 million on entertainment, paying Oprah. I think Oprah's company got $5 million. $5 million to Oprah's company. So these people didn't like her. I mean, they was like, the article I was reading was pretty much saying they was kind of just stealing, just handing out to cronies. They said they spent like another 5 to 10 million on just private planes. So I imagine it was certain places where she couldn't take Air Force Two. So it appears, and again, because she is Indian, it appears like, they want to smear you with the with the money thing, mismanaging money, but it appears like a lot of that went on with her. Because what they said is the reason why you saw so many of her commercials back to back to back to back, that's how the people get paid. If the people don't run the commercials, they don't get paid. but the more they run the commercials is the more they get paid. And I'm saying it's here we go. Here they are showing it. Okay. Here we go. They broke it down. See if I can make that bigger. All right, she spent $1.5 billion in 15 weeks. $10 million on election eve rallies. $1 million to Oprah. Okay, not $5 million, $1 million. $4 million on private jets. $900,000, almost $1 billion for ads on the Las Vegas Sphere alone. Almost $1 million to put her face on the Las Vegas Sphere. Now, is that not throwing away money? To get one ad costs you almost $1 million for one. I mean, this was, this is the money 10, 15 weeks. And then talking about she was 20 million in debt. On the eve, this sounds like I don't know if y'all remember the movie JoJo Dancer, and remember to spend the last of his money, he had election rally. That's what this sounds like. Like they really needed to pay these people off to get rid of more money. Election eve rallies. It's this number right here stands out to me more than any other. This was a party right here. This was to pay her cronies. 10 million in one day. 10 million in one day. One day spent 10 million. So for her, it was a money grab. They ain't gonna like to hear that, but that's what it appears like. Like it was a big money grab. And I know politics should be over, but I mean, they still doing bullshit. Like, ain't we about to be in World War III and this chick she's on vacation? Like, how do you go on vacation? I guess the president's got a thing for vacation. It's called Camp David. They want to go vacation, they got a place called Camp David, So, Menendez brothers take setback from getting out of prison. Niggas, they ain't gonna let you niggas get out. Y'all there to stay. Y'all are there to stay. They not letting you niggas out. Y'all been following this story? Trans volleyball player Blair Fleming honored with awards the day after jury ruled she can play. And is it the Big Sky tournament? Is it the Big Sky tournament? Yeah, this person right here. This is a guy. All right. Look at this. And so, transgender player Blair Fleming was among the honored the Mountain West Awards. Fleming's biological male has been the eye of the storm of recent months, with multiple opponents refusing to play against her. The redshirt senior is also center of a lawsuit involving her own team, who sued their head coach, the college, and Mountain West, demanding be declared ineligible for conference play. She just got eligible for conference play. Meanwhile, accused the school of trying to silence her after she was suspended following complaints about Fleming. They suspended her. This girl down here, she got suspended because she said she don't want to play with a dude. Wow. Suspended. Okay, the NCAA is facing class action lawsuit from more than a dozen athletes who accuse the organization of knowing violating a law that prohibits sex-based discrimination. Tuesday, however, Fleming was named All Mountain West, honorable mention, along with another teammate. Colorado State Mayor was named Mountain Play. Colorado Malaya. The death is being accused of conspiring with Fleming. Okay, this is despite her being accused. Okay. Colorado State's was named Mountain Plus Player of the Year. That is despite her being accused of conspiring with Fleming to throw a game. A blast Susie said during last month. The awards came after a judge denied a last-minute attempt to ban Fleming from the conference championship tournament, as well as any possible future tournament games. Ruled that the lawsuit was not reasonable, that it would risk confusion and open months of planning and would prejudice at a minimum other participating in the tournament. The decision sparked outrage from many people on social media. Gaines, a spokesman advocate against transgender women in media, said a federal judge just ruled in favor of a male athlete who has been injuring defenseless women in the volleyball for years. It's time to remove those activities. So, yeah, I caught this, and I mean, I just think they should have their own league. Like, that's really what I think would be fair, that transgenders have their own sports and their own league. I mean, that's only fair. And that's competing on the same level. Because no matter how many hormones you take, it doesn't matter. You still a man. And you still see it's quick. You have quick twitch responses. Your quick twitch responses is still a male. Taking them hormones ain't gonna take that away. And the basic strength. So I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's not fair. And that's why most places in the country, they're not allowed it. But you know how California is. I think they should just have a league of their own. That to me would be fair. Set up their own league. And as more and more people identify as that, it's going to be more, so the numbers are going to go up. I often look at Morgan Freeman. Let me see. It's Jaguar. That's why they're showing him. It's Jaguar for sale. But, it's a lot of speculation that Morgan Freeman is Jimi Hendrix. And like, if you look at Morgan Freeman's military Vietnam era picture, and you look at Morgan Freeman's, it's not that far. Let me see. Who is this? Okay, some chick. Here's some morbid news. Lori Shaver will spend the life in prison after being convicted of second-degree murder of her ex-husband, Michael Shaver, and she impersonated him for months, buried him in the backyard, and built a concrete slab over the burial site, then blamed him for the killing of her daughter. He explained to us, wow. Told the judge his brother's killer now is left in miserable void in their lives. And tried to blame her 7-year-old daughter. Oh, she tried to say her daughter killed him. Wow, she is cold-blooded. Lori's inhumane, ruthless, savage action, especially your lack of any repentance, indicate that I fully expect she would incite bedlam, whoever she associates with. She did not speak, but she wrote a 14-page letter to state's attorney's office accusing her of ex-boyfriend of the murder. Shaver's daughter, who's taken the stand during the trial, said at 7 years old, she'd actually been one to kill him, Shaver said in court today. She declined interview. Wow. Her mother turned on and smiled when the sentence came down. The loss is a wound forever. Damn, that bitch was crazy. Damn, boy. And then was impersonating him like this nigga was live. Look at her. You can just tell. You hit it, she gonna want to kill you. While you hitting it, she thinking about killing you. She's thinking about killing you while you hitting it. Damn. Oh shit. That was a cold ass bitch there, boy. Oh, who is this nigga they just showed? Oh, at the Nike outlet, if you like, they had those, what is them ugly green ones? They had them again today. They had the blue, the Air Force, or not, Air Jordan 1, the blue colorway, that royal blue like. And then they had the black and white ones that's more black and white. They had those all for $100. But them is like not walking shoes. So here they say this Malaysian billionaire died. Malaysian billionaire Ananda Krishnan has died. Companies say he don't look very young. So Malaysian billionaire Krishnan, whose empire included businesses from telecommunication to oil and gas, has died. His prominent investment firm says it has made significant contributions to nation building and the corporate world. And his philanthropic initiatives have touched many lives. We humbly ask the family wishes to mourn in private be respected. That's it. So this nigga died. He was a billionaire, so you know when they kill people like this, it makes you wonder who killed him. Do y'all remember the dude who used to own Beatrice? He was the first brother that was a billionaire. And like all his products, like they was so racist because he was a billionaire and they found out he owned all this shit. He owned, at one time he owned, I think it was Hunt's ketchup. He owned a bunch of soaps and shit. But like this is how dirty they did him. And I don't know if any of y'all would remember this, but they made, what was it? Oh gosh, I'm losing it. I'm losing what it was called. But every time one of his products would come out, they would say by so and so. Beatrice. That was the name of his country, was Beatrice. And so every time they would show his commercial, on the bottom they'd be a Beatrice product. Because they was trying to tell people this product comes from this nigga. I don't know if y'all remember that. And I think it was called Beatrice, but that's every time one of his products was on TV, he was the only one they did like that. A Beatrice company. They made them put those in his commercials. And then he ends up dead, and he had married some Asian woman. She got the billion, and she sold everything. She broke everything apart. So, you know, they killed him. And see, that's the part that like people don't understand, you know, especially back in those days, to generate that much money and not really be thinking about your protection. I mean, like Jimi Hendrix was the most famous man in the world when he died. He was literally the most famous man in the world. Yet he was so naive, he had no protection. He walking around them streets of England, hanging out, getting in and out of cabs by himself. You understand? Even in 1970, 71, he was by himself. So the people that conspired to kill him, it was easy. It was easy to kill him. And so the same with this brother. Brother, you know, that woman, he didn't even know. That woman was more than likely sent to him to monitor him and then to get his money and to break everything up when he got killed. And, you know, the people not understanding who you are and what you should be doing to protect yourself. Oh, let me show you. Now, I hate touching this stuff because I do have this cigar, but this is 100% pure eucalyptus. And I don't know if you can tell, I have, the one reason I'm not burning incense is I have right there going. So I'm smelling eucalyptus. I did a little for my own to activate the stuff in front of me. But yeah, so I just got the essential oil going. So wanted to show that. And you know, you can have like lotions and all that stuff with essential oils too, you know, because essential oils, most of them, you got to break them down with oils or something or lotion, and you just put a little bit in. And, you know, it's certain oils do have a health benefit, you know. Tea tree oil can fight lice. Come to find out. Because one of the nieces, she kept lice, and her mother finally figured out a way. The only way she was able to get rid of it was with tea tree oil. And this little chick had lice for months. But it's the same little girl where I found her in the garage, you know, like she was just sleeping anywhere and she found a garage nobody was in and it was open. And, you know, luckily nothing happened to her, but so I think she lived with me like one summer, me and my ex-wife, who's her cousin. I think my son was born by then. So she lived with us like 2-3 months after that happened because her mother was a drug addict at the time. And so we had to look out for her. And, you know, sometimes that happens in life. We have to look after people. Oh, yeah, the big game is Colorado State. A bunch of teams got it. Colorado's going, I think they said maybe the Peach Bowl, something like that. Even if they beat Oklahoma State, it's got a lot happen for them. Their chance was, they lost their chance with Kansas, and that game looked really fixed. Oh, did y'all see Michigan State, North Carolina? That game was so fixed. I don't know if y'all watched my short video, but that shit made no, like I watched several plays where they threw it to the other team. I mean, several plays was like that where they just threw it to the other team. They did 3 turnovers in a row one time, and all of them looked like on purpose. Then that final play, you gonna run into your player so he don't even get a shot off. Like, come on. That shit was so fixed. I just saw something where they just fired a missile at Russia. Oh, did they? Well, what they've been doing is they was talking about NATO might strike at Russia. Where am I at? Oh, okay. Here we go. See if this comes up. Because I know they were saying NATO was probably thinking about doing a preemptive strike. Let me see. What does this say? 18, it says, right, Russia strikes cities across Ukraine, targeting country's infrastructure. Russia's latest. Russia launches record number of drones that attacked. Let's see what BBC says. Massive strike on energy sector. Oh, it says right here, Russia and Ukraine trade missile and drone strikes. That was 3 days ago, though. British man captured while fighting for Ukraine. Huh. Let's see if we can dig deeper. Russia-Ukraine war list. Launches record number. See, Russian news. See if this covers it. No, this is the same thing. I don't know. I'm not finding it. Not finding. Let's see. Maybe right here. Six days of Russian life. Russian latest news. Putin won't accept any Trump peace deal as he obsessed. Yeah, I'm not finding it. I'll look on my phone. Yeah, it says Putin won't accept any Trump peace deal as he obsessed with crushing Russia. Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Because I said before, they'll bring them Chinese people going to join them when they drop off 1 million Chinese troops. Because, you know, China just, they'll pile up people. Yeah, let me see. I'm not even seeing. Let me see on the phone. Because I'm not finding it in there. Maybe I can find it on the phone. Well, let's see. Did it come up here? Oh. Whoops. Oh, here we go. Yeah, all I'm hearing is just that Russia attacked them. Hit key Russian air defense system hit Ukraine. Hit Ukraine in airstrike. Yes, so it says on the 17th that Russia pounds Ukraine's power grid. And of course, he asked for more weapons. The president's like, we need more weapons. What time is it? What time is it? Yeah, this is what time I took them before. I have to take my pills at a certain time. There we go. Yeah, I caught the highlights. University of Dayton almost beat UNC. Oh, I'll tell you, Michigan State. Let me find that play. If y'all didn't see it, because I mean, it was a bunch of where Michigan State people just threw the ball away. I mean, it made no sense. The sloppy turnovers didn't make any sense at all. Sloppy turnovers.
All right. It's been several shady looking plays against Michigan State where they threw the ball away
all
on
I'm
purpose.
saying
But
is there were
watch this
just
guy
so
stop
many
his own man from
turnovers
scoring.
that
Watch
just
this.
didn't make any sense. Look at that. Look at that.
His
He
own
didn't
man,
try to
watch this
look
angle
at
though.
the
They show a better
defender.
angle. Look at this.
Watch this.
Look at
He
this.
did not.
Watch his own man hit him so
This
he
makes no
doesn't get
sense.
the
He
shot
bumped
off.
him so he couldn't shoot. And look at the
Did you
dude's
see
reaction.
that? And look at the guy
his
it happened
reaction.
to. Look at his attitude. Like, why did you
Look at
hit
his
me?
reaction.
Why did
He's
you
looking
hit
at
me?
him like, why would you do that?
Watch this. Watch him hit his own
And
man.
you can't tell
And
me
is
this
the whole
wasn't on
play.
purpose. It was a
He gets the ball.
1,000% on purpose.
The one
that he hit
person
him.
that
It
can
was definitely-
foul
he ran
without
to hit the
him
player.
shooting. Look at that.
Look,
His own
look,
man.
He ran right into him.
His own man ran into him to stop him from scoring.
You cannot say he didn't do that on
He
purpose.
gets the ball.
He totally did it on
The
purpose.
one person that can foul without him shooting. Look at that. His own man.
You telling me all
His
the
own
games
man
that
ran
he done
into him
played
to
in,
stop him from scoring.
all the games that he played in,
Foul
he
without
just don't
him
know
shooting. Look at
who
that.
to
His
pick.
own man. His
And this
own
play
man ran
reminds
into
me
him to
so
stop him from
much
scoring.
of when I tell you
And then
plays
look like you're
where
trying to get an explanation, but
in
no, he fouled him
football
on
where
purpose.
people be tackling each other.
Point shaving. All right. It's been several shady looking
they'll
plays
tackle
against
their
Michigan
own
State
man.
where they threw the ball away on
I've
purpose.
showed that
But
in
watch
the
this
past,
guy
where they
stop
will,
his
in
own man
football,
from
they will
scoring. Watch this.
They will tackle their own. They will knock their
His
man
own
out
man.
the way.
Watch this angle though. They
so
show
the
a better
offensive player
angle.
can get away. I've showed that in the past, and that's how dirty the game is. And not dirty, but that's how they fix it. I mean that is straight how they fix it. You know. How long I've been going? I ain't gonna go too long. I know y'all ain't got shit to do tomorrow. I ain't got shit to do tomorrow. Get up and do what I did again today. Get up and get it on and enjoy life. What else is there to do? It's just get up, get on, and enjoy life. And don't worry about nobody else. I'm gonna do my thing. And I really, I do wish I didn't have to go nowhere tomorrow, because it's like we always have to go over to my brother-in-law's almost every holiday, and it's like kind of getting old to me. Holiday, I would rather just sit home. My TV better than his TV, and it's no knock to him, but that's the truth. My TV is better, and it's holidays are always games, but it gets my mom out the house, so And this is her brother, my wife's brother, and my daughter don't mind. She go over there, and I think my youngest son is going with us, I think. And then my oldest son here, he said he's coming. So be good to kick it with all them, but I could kick it all with all them at my house, But that's what it's for. It's for families getting together. Really no American celebration. It's just celebration of getting everybody together. That's about the biggest thing. That's about the biggest thing it is. It's enjoying your people when they here. It's like, I've told the story before when I was a child, and the most proud thing that, my people, my great-grandfather and my great-great-grandfather, they were farmers. My great-great-grandfather, who was in the Civil War, he was a farmer. And my great-grandfather was a farmer, his son. And so, we came from a family of men that worked for themselves. They didn't work for anybody else. I mean, the land that my cousin now lives on, we've had that land since 1850. You know, my great-great-grandfather bought where my cousin lives today in 1850 or 1851. My mother grew up on my great-grandfather's land. She grew up on her grandfather's land. The house she grew up in, my grandfather owned it. He let his daughter live there. Probably charged her a little rent, but so that's how long this land has been in our family. And so I bring that up because, like, what this time of year meant to them is getting together with all the family and having this big feast that all comes from, because it was like he had three brothers. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4 brothers, but 3 that maybe 2, maybe just Vern and the other brother, maybe 2 brothers, and they all had like a big giant farms next to each other. And everything that they ate came from one of the farms. Everything. And that's what they celebrated. The self-sufficiency of being able to feed your, and it's this, as I said before, you know, the combined families, it sometimes it seemed like it was 11 or 12 different families. All combined, all the food coming from one of the farms. Now, of course, when people started bringing sodas and shit like that, but at one point, everything came from one of the farms. You didn't have to spend any money. Just took a little time to get the feed up. I remember they was trying, my stepfather would not eat venison, and they tried to fool him by not telling him. And I'm listening to him, and I know it's venison because he got up and used the bathroom or something. And I'm like, hitting him under the table. I'm like, don't eat that shit. They're trying to trick you. Because he was about to eat that shit. He had taken the place, like, yeah, I'll have some. And I'm like, don't eat that. You don't like that kind of stuff. Then he looked at me and he looked at them, and they's all, you know, all the relatives like, we gonna get him? My family was the kind of family that if you fell asleep around them, they would put hot sauce in your mouth. Even the children. If you fell asleep around any of my family at my aunt's house, you was getting, you know, and my uncle and like his brothers all drank, and so they would always fall asleep, especially Panther. You know, Panther was a World War II vet, I think, or maybe Korea. I'm not sure which one he was in, World War II or Korea. But that mug fell asleep, and he'd be like, next thing you know, they would put that barbecue sauce in his, or they would put hot sauce in his mouth, and that mug, you know, wake somebody up. I feel you. My wife said she's serious about holiday celebrations, so I'm going from one house to another. Okay. Oh. So, but yeah, and that was the funny thing about my aunts is that anybody who fell asleep. So I never fell asleep. If I did, I'd go upstairs and go to sleep. I never nodded off in front of my cousins because they would get their friends. Their friends would be over and be high because they done got high in the basement and come up there and doze off. Hot sauce in their mouth. But that's just the kind of, you know, the unity that we all had and the family and the way we were around each other. And it was truly, you know, like when they said that, you know, I mean, I did live in a period where people knew everybody's neighbors and people had been in their houses for years. And, you know, you look at a whole block and everybody been in these houses for years. Everybody's watched their children grow up. And you would know the older brothers and sisters and cousins of your neighbors because you would see them come and going. So you knew a lot more people because you would associate, you know, that they associated, especially if they lived on a relative or your street. You knew them, you know a lot of the family because you see the family over there. And, you know, those are long days. I mean, I've told this story before where one dog, like, we have some long blocks. I mean, you know, some of the blocks be what, 20, 30 houses, you know? And there was this one dog, and I've told this story before, but there was a dog that it knew every person who lived on that block. That dog fucked with everybody but the people that lived on that block. Now, when the children had company, it would fuck with the company. But it did not fuck with the people that lived on its street. It knew it They just let it go free. I mean, I lived in a time where it was packs of dogs. You go out in the woods, you might run into a pack of dogs. Wild dogs, just runaway dogs, and they get into packs like wolves. There was some children that got killed like that before. Wild dogs found them in some woods. But yeah, this one dog was a bad motherfucker. Now, if you had been over there a couple times, it kind of got used to seeing you, so it wouldn't fuck with you as much. It would come up and smell you and be like, okay, your ass been over here before, you stink. But that dog patrolled that neighborhood. And you think people like I don't know if y'all know what it's like walking neighborhoods and have to not walk down certain blocks, because you know, like some dogs would just be, they wouldn't be tied, they just be around that house. So if you had to walk past that house, that dog would fuck with you. So do you know what it was like to have to, like, no, we can't go down this block because that dog down there. So you'd walk around another block to get away from walking by that dog. I don't know if y'all ever experienced that. But yeah, this dog was bad. This dog knew every person on that street. And it was like 20 to 25 houses on that street, you know, both sides. And that dog knew who belonged on that street and who didn't. And see, that's a bygone life. The dog could be trained to patrol the block. Man, it took a smart dog, too. It was a smart dog, you know. I used to own a dog that could walk on fences. He didn't need to, walk in with a leash. You could just let that motherfucker go, and he would go and then come right back to you. You would call him, he'd be right there. Wouldn't fuck with nobody, wouldn't growl at nobody. You called him, he came right back. Now I had that damn beagle. That beagle was hard-headed the motherfucker. That motherfucker got free. He's taking off. Aroo, aroo, aroo. Yeah, you know what that's like. Yeah, you can't walk down that street because that damn dog is down that street. So you have to walk an extra block. I mean, I remember bordellos. I remember where it'd be hoe houses. It used to be when I was young. I was in fifth grade. There was a whorehouse near this. It wasn't far from the school. It was known that was a hoe house. I knew when I was in fifth grade, I knew it was a hoe house. And I think by the time I was in sixth grade, they took it out. They busted them. But when I was in fifth grade, we knew where the hoe house was. It was a hoe house not far from my school. Or a bordello, whatever you want to call it. Motherfuckers be seeing their daddies and uncles go in that motherfucker, be teasing them at school and shit. Be like, Bobby, I saw your daddy go to the whole house. Yeah, my daddy just go in there to gamble. Like, nah, nigga, he wasn't gambling. He was in there getting himself. Yeah, my cousin's neighborhood, these German shepherds used to chase us. That's how me and my little brother developed the speed we had. Oh, yeah, it was whole houses in my life. In fifth grade. Matter of fact, fourth grade, because I used to go by there in fourth grade. I didn't, in fourth grade, I didn't walk as much, but matter of fact, they gave out candy. The whole house gave out candy on Halloween. So that whole house was there. I was probably, I think the first time I went to that whole house to get candy, I was like in kindergarten, first grade. And they didn't close that. They didn't close that place down until I think I was in sixth grade. Because when I was in first grade, we still lived in Cass. We hadn't moved to Kalamazoo yet. And so when I went with my cousins, I remember we went there and I remember seeing the girls and I ain't know. But then as I got older, we would drive by there and I was like, hey, Mom, did you know that's the whole house? And she was like, don't say that. That's not the whole house. I'm like, yeah, that is the whole house. What are you talking about? That's the whole house. That's where the holes are. And I would say that to my dad. My dad like, yeah, I go gamble in there sometime because they would shoot craps and play cards in the whole house too. But yeah, that was in my lifetime. But at the time it wasn't looked at as wrong. Oh man, this THC stuff, and this is only 10 milligrams. Man, I'm telling you, I sip on one. I'm about to get a flask.
you know, the old bootleg flask, and just carry one of these with me. I'm gonna find a small metal one, and I'm gonna just carry a flask of this THC juice. This is the only real THC we can buy is in the liquid. They just stopped them from putting the license out for the flower because they said, because what happened is a lot of conglomerates tried to come in here with fake license or fake names to get a bunch of tries, because it's a lottery to get, you know, the people that's going to get the flower, because everything else is pretty much legal. But the full on, you know, full legalization here and everything, you can get everything. That's still, they just now getting to the stage of where the license, they just did an injunction on the license because a lot of people who got turned down are like suing the state and saying the process is unfair. But what the state is really saying is a lot of big companies is using false names to try to get in spots. So that was their thing of why they rejected a lot of people. Well, let me see right here though. Let me see right here, because this is live. Let's see if we can. Latest Philippines fires criminal complaint. Okay. Let's see if I can.
District. How grave is the matter really?
See if I can find.
Well, the death of these members of the Hindu community, they've died in mysterious circumstances. It's not known yet that is it a case of pre-planned murder or suicide. But generally now talking about the situation of the minorities, particularly the Hindu minorities, since Sheikh Hasina's ouster, we have seen has deteriorated.
That's the difference between them. You got Hindus and Islam. That's why when Gandhi took his ass, he's like, I can go, you know, this country used to be one. Yeah, he took his ass back over there. And, you know, a lot of y'all don't know, Gandhi hated brothers. I mean, he hated brothers with a passion. If you read his letters when he was a lawyer, I think a lawyer in South Africa, man, he hated dark-skinned people. He hated them. I mean, vicious writings, very vicious writings. I tell you, a deep brother, though, talking about South Africa, if you can get the book or some writings by Stephen Banco, his perspective on the oppression, probably deeper than Malcolm's. I think, remember Denzel played him in a movie? That dude, Stephen Banco, they didn't get deep how deep he was. Because again, like they did, the way they was doing apartheid, they was like, he was on house arrest, not under arrest. But every move he made, they followed him. Everything they did, they censored him. And I mean literally everything. Even the houses he went over, you know, they stopping him. What are you going over there for? They interviewing the people when he leave, interviewing him. I mean, this was Nazi type of suppression of this brother. And then the way they just straight up murdered him out of a car stop, tortured him and murdered him. But read his perspective on suppression, on European, I'd call it insecurities, but whatever you want to call it, you know, whatever you want to call it. Apartheid, European apartheid and oppression. You know, like I put on my thumbnail, like Bobby Seale says, you know, we're colorblind, but we're against all oppression. And Stephen Banco's perspective on oppression is really deep, really deep. I have to look it up sometime and put it together. But it is really, really deep. I'll say that. That's some of the best, and it's only a little bit out there about him. That's why the stuff to get Fred Hampton, you know, you listen to Fred and the pressure they was under. I mean, if you really like know Fred Hampton's full story, his full story is Fred Hampton was in prison. They framed him and said he went on an ice cream truck, threw the ice cream out to the children.
So and then they got some people to perjure themselves about him. And before they killed him, they was about to put him back in jail. So he was about to do 5 years in prison for something he definitely didn't commit. He definitely didn't commit. Like, if you ever heard of a dude named, I think his name was James Jackson, but the Soledad brother, he got for driving a car of a robbery, he got a unlimited sentence pretty much. That's what the lawyer set up for him. His book is called Soledad Brother. Pretty brilliant writings, but they gave him for something that should have got him maybe 2-3 years. He had an undetermined sentence, and that they sent him to prison with an undetermined sentence. So they pretty much gave him life, and just as a matter of fact, they killed him. They set up a riot because he was supposed to transfer to go to court, and they set up a riot. And during the riot, he thought he was walking to the police car, and the a sniper killed him while walking where he thought he was going to court in the courtyard. Now, you see the brothers. I guess that was on my Facebook, but there's a famous picture with a brother walking out. I might be able to find that picture. Let's see. News to I don't know if this is gonna come up. No, it should be gun. Oh, it's more than one. God damn. Let's see. Let's bring this up. No, let's see. Damn, they done killed a bunch of judges. Huh, it's not in here. Can't remember where I found it, but I wish I could find it, because let me see. Because it's a picture of a brother. What they did is, now this is like, if you know anything, maybe I'll look her up. Because Angela Davis was an FBI agent. Let's see if this picture will come up in hers. Because Angela Davis, she is the one that gave the guns when they had the trial. Let's see. Soledad brothers. Let me see if this picture come up through them. Let's see. Maybe this will bring it. They're not giving you the picture because the picture is powerful. Let's see. Soledad brothers shooting. 3 black prisoners were shot and killed. Yeah, okay. But what about murder, racial violence, aftermath? Let me see. They are not showing the pictures. They're not showing the pictures. And this picture's powerful. I'll have to find it. I'll have to find it sometime. Let's see. Copy some of these references down. See where I found it, because it shows, I mean, I am, yeah, here we go. I am surprised they even showed this picture, because it shows the ultimate it shows the ultimate of the melanated person humiliating not only a judge, but the masonry, like masons. I mean, it's like a mason humiliation ritual that we put together. We put the brothers put the noose around the judge's neck and they tied a sawed-off shotgun. And the brothers holding the sawed-off shotgun while they walking the judge. And what happened is a sniper hit the dude, but the dude killed the judge first. So the picture is powerful. I'd like to get the picture put into a poster because it says so much. If you've never seen the picture, it is a powerful picture. Let's see if I can find it. Let's get it. Okay. I don't know if they got it. Huh. They got the picture of the brother that this is John Jackson, I think his name is. George Jackson. Patience has its merit, but what does it say? Patience has its merits, but take it too far and it's cowardice. Yeah, here's the book right here. Soledad, brother, right here. This is a good book. I read this as a young person. I wanted to see if it brought up the picture of his brothers. Because his brothers are... But this is a good book. The Prison Letters of George Jackson. This is a good book. I think I read it in 3rd or 4th grade. I wonder if it'll come up in Angela Davis stuff. And Angela Davis she was an agent. She was definitely an agent. You didn't know that. She was an agent too. I have the picture somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. It's in here. I don't know how buried in here it would be. But I probably got it in here buried. Hell, I don't even know how to look for my pictures anymore. Oh, yeah, I do. See if I got it buried in here somewhere. Videos more. Probably deep in this motherfucker. I probably got them. So I haven't fucked with it in a while. See if I got it, and y'all can look or see where I got it from. I got a picture. Sly sent me a picture of that porno with George Floyd. He sent that shit to me. I remember I put that shit on Facebook. It had motherfuckers going crazy. But Sly sent me that shit. Shit, and I got all these woodcuts that show Europeans, Columbus's people, cooking people. I know I got it in here somewhere because I used to use it on my face page. Instead of a picture of me, I had a picture of it. Ah, here it is. All right, let me see if I can get it to focus. Now, this picture says everything. It says, we don't fear them. We don't fear them. See, this is George Jackson's brother in the white. He gets hit with the sniper rifle when they try to take him in a van, but he kills that judge. Well, no, actually, yeah, the dude with the pistol, why is it showing that? Oh, I'm getting that over there. Okay, the dude with the pistol is only 17 years old. George Jackson's brother is behind him. This picture you can't really see, but George Jackson's brother is behind him. But that's a judge in full Mason suit. Now, the other part of it could say, we're not afraid of y'all. The judge doesn't show any fear in his face. He doesn't give away any dignity. But on the other hand, this is powerful, that we've always fought them, that we've always fought them. And I don't know where I got this from, but I'm going to get this into a poster and want to be thinking about this every day. It's like, if y'all remember the brother that he was in Virginia about 20 years ago, and he beat up a female police officer in the stairway, took her gun while handcuffed, but I think he was handcuffed from the front. He beat her up. With handcuffs, he beat her up, took her gun, took the keys, freed himself, ran back in the courtroom, killed the prosecuting attorney, and killed the judge. Do y'all remember that story? It was a brother who did that. And then to make it think it was MK Ultra, he escaped. But when he escaped, he went to, he broke in this chick's house, and the chick told him the Lord, and they say that's why he gave up. Because he was holding her hostage, and she talked the Lord into him, which made it seem more like MK Ultra kind of shit. And he turned himself in after doing all that. Now, do you think, under their law, he broke the law? Brian Nichols. Okay, thank you. Brian Nichols. Thank you. Thank you, Key. Welcome.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul.
Brian Nichols. Okay. Okay, that was his name. Yeah, he was in that courtroom. I want to say it was Virginia. Like Richmond or so, near DC. So always thinking, and yeah, in the long run, he did fail, and they got him. But I mean, at the moment, the thing that intrigued me about that story is how quickly the dynamics changed. Because the girl that he killed in the stairway was the sister, kind of chubby sister. It's all on film. That part's on film. I don't think the court part is on film, but him taking that gun and killing that woman is on film. They've showed that. I don't know if they showed the courtroom. I can't say I personally saw it because I didn't. At least I don't remember seeing it. Here in Atlanta? Oh, okay. Fulton County. Oh, it's in Atlanta. And we might be talking about two different places, but maybe you could be right. It happened so long ago. But the power dynamic, how quickly the power dynamic changed, from we putting this nigga in jail, we ain't never got to think about him again, to the ultimate terror when he had the power. Now just think, what, like at that chance, at that choice, for him to feel he had to kill them two people, he probably in some ways felt wronged by him. Regardless of what he did, he felt wronged by those people too. He felt they went beyond what the law was to fuck with him and do what they did. And the whole time you're supposed to be judging him, they're showing that they're better than him and their attitude is above him. But can you think of the fear and the panic in their faces when the dynamic changed? He had the power. And because he felt so wronged, that he feel that the only way he could make himself feel better and get justice was to kill them two people. Well, he actually killed 3 or 4, I think. Now, I can see both sides. And it just shows you, everything isn't impossible. All situations is, you should have a plan. Regardless of what the situation is, still have a plan. So, Oh, okay. I can show some shit y'all probably ain't seen before. This is Bobby Hutton. Now, Bobby Hutton was, I think he was the first Panther to be killed. And as I said, the FBI started the Black Panthers through Huey Newton and Bobby Seals. They started it. And for some reason, he was the first person that was sacrificed. He was only 17, I think, when he got killed. This picture comes from when they stormed California, and they put this gun in this young boy's hand when they stormed, Sacramento, and they stormed the state government. And he's center of him. Huey Newton just said he wasn't there, and the excuse is Bobby Seals said Huey would go off going there. He wouldn't be controlled. But he is highlighted, and so we know that for the Black Panthers, he was the first one sacrificed, and many others. Oh, here he goes. See how when you talk about motherfuckers, how the system does it? Stephen Bunko, iPad snap case. Okay, so you can get this, but this is a deep brother right here. If you can find his writings, it's well worth it. The most potent weapon in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressor. Yeah. Let's say something about him. Black People's Convention tribute to him. But this was a real cat, and if you can find his writings, there's some of his writings. Steve Biko, what is like? Reader's Choice, Every African American, 20 books. Okay, Steve Biko. Very good book though. And it's hard to like I know the motherfucker was supposedly in prison for a long time, but it's hard to think that this was the same man. You know, that this is really the same man. It looks like who was in jail or wherever he was. They brought a completely different person to play the part. And let me see. But yes, probably what I read is this. I don't remember so long ago that I read it. But this is worth a study. This is definitely worth the study. Oh, right here. This tells you that the FBI put this together. We've got the dynamic of light skin, dark skin. You see? And the light skin is in charge. He's number one, he's number two. See, and this tells you, you know, that the FBI, the CIA wrote the Willie Lynch letter. This is right here. This is Willie Lynch. This is from the people who wrote Willie Lynch. They gave you Willie Lynch. Light skin in charge of the dark skin. And then, you know, the myth of them being violent. And all they was doing was saying, we got every right to walk around with our guns, as long as the guns ain't loaded. And but what reality it was is brothers started following cops in the streets of Compton. Not Compton, they were in Richmond, weren't they? Oakland. I'm lunching right now. And so they would follow cop cars and they would be armed. Because, you know, they got tired of people, you know, and all of a sudden these two show up. And you know, this picture is just like this picture hung in my house. My dad had this picture up on the wall. The picture in my bedroom was H. Rap Brown, but this picture was in our house. And again, it's that back to Africa bullshit, the spear, you know. And now we got the gun, and a cheap gun at that. But why the spear? And I told you, Sandra Gardner. Remember, Sandra Gardner did this. Maybe she had the baby on one lap and she had the shotgun in the other hand. Remember that? Sandra Gardner was the same thing with the baby on the lap and the gun in the hand. Remember that? In that story, they say the nigga ran away, or man ran away, the baby's daddy. And you see his interviews in jail. He chain smoker. That one brother that played on Do the Right Thing, played the handicapped person. He was a chain smoker, but clean clothes, county jail, never went to prison. I think he was in county the whole time. Chain smoker. So you could see a chain smoker. Look, another picture with a cigarette in his hand. And the bald head afro. But I think that what they did is they took him off the streets. Because somebody probably was figuring out he's about to be an agent. So they took him off the streets. And then when they brought him back on, he pretty much destroyed the Panthers when they let him out. You know, motherfucker that was already a chain smoker. You know, when they gave him cane, what was going to happen? They knew he had addictive personality. And so, you know, they do profiles of you. They know how much rope they can give you before you hang yourself. I was listening to a brother talking about, you know, how Fred Hampton and them got involved. They said the business collective of Chicago got together and was the ones that really started the food program in Chicago. Brothers was, you know, asking people, going around the neighborhood, say, what do we need? And they was finding out that, you know, children in poor neighborhoods, and mostly melanated children, you know, wasn't eating in the morning because the parents was working, gone, couldn't afford it. And the breakfast programs, you know, now my state, my daughter's school doesn't participate in it because they don't take federal money. But if you take federal money, you provide breakfast. And in this state, it's free lunch for everybody. No matter if your social status or, you know, food stamps, no matter, everybody gets free lunch here. In the places where it's breakfast free and lunch is free if you take state money. So, and that shouldn't stop you from learning. You know, like they were showing now, you know, they're offering free internet or simple internet that you can at least do your homework on. Because again, you know, that's a crutch. If you're demanding that they do work on these tablets, well, then you're going to have to supply that they can go home and still do the work. So, I got into him from a Tribe Called Quest. Yeah. The movie is okay, but the movie doesn't get deep. The movie doesn't get deep into who he is. It doesn't really get deep into who he is. Like he did that role, but he didn't do that role like he did Malcolm. Like he should have did a lot more dialect and a lot more of his sayings and stuff. And they really kind of rushed through that story. But very deep writings, very deep writings. And you know, a different like you know what's so relatable about him is he is in oppression in a different country, but yet he understood oppression everywhere. Because he knew that they were under the heavy hand of oppression, but he understood how oppression worked everywhere. And as I mentioned before, I think he even had a greater perspective than Malcolm, because Malcolm had a lot more freedom than what this cat had. I mean, Malcolm was still able to fly around the country, be on TV. I mean, you know, like if you think of what they did, they created King, definitely created King. And it's very possible that they created Malcolm too. Because that if you read the book and he talks about where he went to school, he got a better education. He got a pretty decent education as a boy. And then as you notice, when he goes to prison, all of a sudden, you know, nothing but education is provided. And we know that, you know, that the Nation of Islam has always been under tax-free, whatever they call that. They've been under that. And so you could almost say that, you know, we know that King's FBI files started he was in 5th grade because he was a child prodigy. But his FBI file started when he was 5. Sorry, 5th grade. I meant when he was 5. And so I'm guessing Malcolm, because, you know, that's how they want. They want to create the same opposites. And, you know, he meets Islam in prison. You know, is it any mistake? You know, we and Islam been working with the government. So, you know, the government's like, hey, this guy might be pretty bright. So let's see. So he's controlled without even really knowing it, you know. But he knew about that they was writing grants, getting grant money, and he knew about all that. So He knew about his part in it. And I don't think anybody thinks he deserved to be murdered the way he was murdered. Same with King. Now, I've said many times, King got killed by the best shooter in the world. Wouldn't have been hard to find who killed King. Not if the way they really wanted. I mean, the records is out there for the best shooters in the world. I mean, they hinted that kind of thing in RFK. He said, let's round up the best shooters. Or JFK, excuse me. The King's, I mean, and like Pepper's book, a lot of it is fiction, but a lot of it is real too. Because it tells the perspective of one of the shooters, and one of the shooters was looking through a scope and saw him get killed. And they was trying to figure out where the shot came from. And that old man, is the one that really did it. And they framed the other cat, but the old man shot him from where they said that bar, that hotel across the street. And probably some, they said that the military wing, what is it? It was a military group followed him, but it was like snipers. It was like the intelligence unit of the military. Not CIA, FBI, but the military itself. One of its intelligence units was following King around. And, you get King saying that not only that rap, you get him telling that rap after, his money dried up and he was seeing how they was doing and he wasn't getting that bread. Then he started, telling what he knew. When one of King's best speeches, that not only that speech about telling how they gave free land to these people. They let these Europeans have this land for free and then taught them how to fire, then gave them the loans to mechanize it, to buy the tractors and shit. Then build up the farm bureaus to teach them how to grow shit. And then they tell you, you don't deserve reparations. And the way King says, they tell you to lift yourself up by your bootstraps. But yet, how many alive now, if you was just given a factory, and not only given the factory, given the loan to put all the equipment in the factory, and then show you how to run the factory efficiently, and let you take classes to keep getting more efficient. It's the same thing. If you look at it from modern perspective, that's what they did for those people. They gave them businesses that would have, money from your family, leaving money to your whole family, professions to your whole family, generational wealth, as they want to call it. Because you ain't got to buy no land. You getting land from your family. You just got to buy the materials, and a lot of materials you can do, get on your own land. So that's how, that's what was done with them and allowed. And instead, look what they did to the people in the North. They wanted to herd you all together. They wasn't giving free land to brothers. I think it's a saying you can see in 1920s or 30s how many billions of acres our people had. And then you look at now, how many billions of acres we have now. And it's not even a third of that. Quarter, probably. One time, that was the main thing we did, was be farmers, control vast amounts of land. That's why I said, the Boule got to my great uncle. They made him think that it was better to work for the school, work for somebody else than to work on that land. And I've heard my grandmother, my mother, my uncle say how hard it was working. I'm like, wait a minute, it wasn't hard to him. It wasn't hard for him and his brothers and your cousins. But you don't want to do it. You don't want to take on hard work, independent work for yourself. Two of my uncles joined the Air Force, and my other uncle went to work for Southern University, my great uncle. My mother's brothers both joined, one joined the Army, one joined the Air Force. So one went to Vietnam. That was better than running a farm to go to Vietnam. Because I don't think he was drafted. I think he enlisted. He ended up being a captain. He got a field commission of being a captain. He's like one of the only ones. Captain did not go to captain school, or not officer training school. He was given a captain field commission and was able to keep it and retire with a captain. But again, he didn't think he thought it was better to fight for them than fight for yourself and your family and your future family. And now, like now they don't even really want you to own a house anymore. They got all the companies buying up the houses, so they just want you to lease and rent houses. They don't want you to build equity up. They want you to just rent houses or stay renting an apartment. So you never build equity. Never get any wealth from that. They trying to stop people from buying. And then, the thing with having to pay taxes on land is ridiculous. Saying that they own it forever. What is the word in Black's Law Dictionary? That only the queen owns the land? You have to be a royal to own land? A surety? Or what is it called with the A? Have to bring out the Black's Law and find that word. But those are the only kind of people that own their land tax-free. Other than the natives, they gave those areas to them. But most common people, you could pay 30 years, pay your land, and be behind some taxes years. And see how quickly they think they can take your land and auction your land off for the money you owe them. But you don't owe the money for the place. You paid that off, but you still got to keep paying them. And it seemed like that, if anything's unconstitutional, it seems like that would be very unconstitutional. Because there's no private land. Not really. They're making it's a claim, but it's another word, but they're making a lien. It's a permanent lien. That's what it is. It's a permanent lien on your property forever. And that should be unconstitutional. It should be so many years they can tax you, and after a certain point, be like, hey, just like them other people ain't getting taxed, that's how it should be. Be like, hey, taxes go off on this too. So this is oppression. It's still oppression. Yes, you're free to have it, but it's oppression in the fact that you always owe it to them. That it's never free and clear. You've always got to set aside money for them. Like now, what I'm seeing, like looking at houses, a lot of these houses, the tax notes is like $10,000 a year. Now you can see why them houses are sitting. You done paid 800 and some thousand for a house. You know what kind of note that gives you? That gives you a note of about $2,500 to $3,000 for like 850. Yeah, something like 3,000. I think if you pay 850,000, I think the note is about 3,000, 2,500 to 3,000, somewhere in there. And then that ain't even putting the tax on there. What? Because that tax of 10,000, you add that into 800 and some. I mean, it makes And so I see why these houses sitting. That's the first thing I look at. Like, I wonder how much taxes they pay for it. Like, that's why this motherfucker's sitting. It's like where we live, we have association fees, and the fees keep getting up, going up, going up, going up. And we own this, But because they cut our grass, motherfucking plow the snow when it snows. But should we pay separate for water and I think trash? Water and trash is also we pay. Electricity, cable, and all that, gas, we pay for all that too. So that should be addressed. That's the kind of thing that really politically, that's what we wasted on the political process we just went through. The demands. Like one thing that if you really look at what the Democrats blew is like there wasn't any demands for like melanated folks had no demands. It was just like, we demand Harris. That was their only demand. Not what can be done, what can be changed, what's concrete, what can we really do. It was just a thing that we were just happy to have her. That's really most of you know, when you get into identity politics, that's what you were seeing. Just happy to have her. Chick that said, I ain't doing nothing specifically for black folks. Not doing anything for melanated folks. Just because y'all melanated, I'm not going to do nothing. She told you. But there was no demands for the votes, no action for the votes. It was just blindly giving them up, blindly defending them. And so that gets into the brainwashing. How people are just very simple. Like just overall simple. Now, I ain't saying Trump is the end all be all. I'd never say that. But he didn't come off as disingenuous as she came off. And then her past of the way she treated people in California. And that they skipped the process to get her in. And as I showed you earlier, what was that, 105 days she spent $1 billion? It appeared like it was just a big money grab for her and her cronies. Money grab. You don't think they knew people at these TV agencies to give that big bread to? We should have known they didn't let no white woman win. They were not going to let her win. Well, what I put on Facebook, and I said it, is like they hated her more than they hated Hillary. Hillary won the popular vote against Trump. She won the popular vote. Chick was nowhere near. It was what, the second biggest defeat since Mondale Reagan? That's why I was like, I thought y'all hated Hillary. Y'all really hated this chick. And now, yeah, NATO is doing, I think I showed before, they're doing drills up in Finland. NATO is up there doing war games in Finland. We see, like one part of Ukraine and giving them the weapons to see how the weapons do. That's what a lot of Ukraine is they want to see how the weapons, the newer weapons, they got a way to test them. Because like in Israel, there's no really, they just bombing motherfuckers without any protection. Now we do have the Iron Dome over there for them, but the bombs, I think Hamas hits them with, I don't know if the Iron Dome, I don't think they go high enough for the Iron Dome to shoot them down. I'm not sure. Obviously, what they did a year or so ago, they was able to bomb them. So they got something they can bomb them. But Ukraine is nothing but trying to see what modern weapons will do. And, it's nothing but like a proxy war, just like Vietnam was, where you had Russia and China back in North Vietnam. And again, that their support could have easily been stopped. Because the thing that ended the war was Nixon said he was going to start bombing those train tracks, and he was going to mine Harbor, Hamping Harbor. And then they was like, hey, but they could have been doing that. Those was two places they wasn't hitting when they was doing all those bombing raids. They never bombed those areas. So they was in agreement to bring the war, they was in agreement to bring these in. War is you bomb whatever the fuck you want to bomb. And then war is also you invade the capital. You take the capital. Never did any of that. Just sent jets in there. That's why when you watch Hamburger Hill, you understand that both sides are sacrificing both sides. Over a hill, they had already won and lost, won, and then the Viet, like this is how stupid it is. Like the Viet Cong would go up in the hill, they would go up in there and fight the Viet Cong, then the Viet Cong would eventually get defeated and leave. And then after the Viet Cong quit fighting up on the hill, they would leave. They would leave. They wouldn't leave people up on that hill. Once they got off that hill, they would leave. And then the Viet Cong would go back up there, and then they would go back, send them back up that hill. Now, doesn't that seem like, they playing with people's lives? And then they had the same thing in a Korean War called Pork Chop Hill. I mean, this is, you know, this is what has went on in our history. I mean, in my lifetime, I've known very little where there wasn't war going on in the world. Very little peace. Now, I grew up in the Vietnam era, and I remember I've told this many times is, you know, dudes graduating and getting a week or so later, they getting the draft notice. They get that number. And the draft used to be on TV, as I said before. The draft used to be on TV. So if their number come up, they're going to get a letter and tell them where they go to camp. It's just that quickly. And within 10, 11 months, you be in Vietnam in that jungle and don't know shit. Literally don't know shit. And so, you know, when you think of baby boomers and, you know, you say baby boomers to blame a lot, I mean, baby boomers had to go through that. I mean, you're talking about out of 10 people, 3 or 4 was going to Vietnam. I think it was 3 million total men. I think a total of 3 million men went to Vietnam, I think. And luckily, only 50 some thousand got killed. Compared to, they think 6 million civilians in Viet Cong got killed in Vietnam. And so you look at baby boomers, they done went through a lot. Integration. You know, integration, when it first was, I mean, people fought. Like my high school was known for having riots when they started talking this integration stuff. They said, I know people like when I was a little boy, they was rioting in junior highs. When they was first starting integration, they would go to school and just fight. And that was my early ideas of junior high was, damn, I got to go up there and fight these motherfuckers. But that's all I'm hearing. They talking about riots at the junior high level, not the high school level. I'm hearing riots that's going on in the junior highs. All out just fighting. Like every week, it'd be a riot up in the school. And the same with the high schools, fighting all the time. Now, I've said before, you know, the best years was really the Jimmy Carter years, 76 through roughly, Reagan came in at 80. So 76 through 80 was really the best time of harmony within the United States. Integration was fully enacted, and it was enacted in a way where it was really all the laws of the civil rights to protect the black folks was really pushed. And so a lot of that disrespect, especially in the North. Now in the South, it was still a lot of shady shit, but in the North, those years, things really changed. A lot of opportunities was given that wasn't given before. Where you wanted to live, you could live anywhere. That redlining and trying to keep you out of not living in certain places was kind of slowly going away. Well, it went away by that point. By 75, you could live anywhere the fuck you wanted to live. The realtors would sell you the house. Like here, they had laws that still recently got passed that said niggas could never live here. It's some people where they still let them live there, but the laws of the community said part of your lease was that you could never let a nigga live in your house. That was here. And so baby boomers endured a lot. Shit, and you talking about people born in the early 50s, I mean, they was Jim Crow in their face. Can you imagine going from 51 to 61 and Jim Crow in the South? You was been that generation where you still saw slavery. You saw Jim Crow 100,000 miles an hour everywhere if you was raised in the South, even in 1950. I mean, you feel what Emmett Till got killed in what, 55, 54, 55, something like that? And like my mother's case, born in the 40s. Just think if you was born in the 40s in the South. You know how many lynchings went on from 40 to 60? And the only, like I've said before, the only reason the Jim Crow locking up black folks, the only thing that stopped that was World War II. Because from 1900 until 1945, 41, they was locking up niggas indiscriminately in the South, or really everywhere, but in the South to do a lot of that work. So it was, slavery didn't go away. And really, like, if you grew up in the South, slavery didn't go away until the 60s. And I told a story, my first wife lived on a plantation that 3 or 4 generations of her family done lived on. Subservient to these people whose land it is. And I don't mean just like her mom. I mean the family was still living on these plantations, working for these same people. Same people they want slaves for. And that's during the baby boomers. So you got to understand, it's a lot of history there. My mom knew what the green book. She went to Texas from Michigan one time. I mean, even when my age, being a little boy driving to Mississippi. I mean, hell, I was 5 years old in 1965. So Mississippi was still Mississippi burning when they killed those the 3 workers. That was 63, 64, 65, somewhere in there. Oh yeah, it was a full plantation. Yeah. It was a full plantation. And it's like really, if you looked at it, they weren't tenant farmers, but it was set up kind of like that. It's like but see, no, I'm gonna even say different. No, I'm gonna correct myself. They did not work like other than their own, how do I want to say this? So other than their own gardens, they didn't work on like the land in front of them that was growing some shit. They didn't necessarily work there. They would work on other parts of the plantation. So they would leave their house and not work on, where they lived. They would have to go to another part of the farm to go work. So they take a truck or whatever. But yeah, they definitely, yeah. I mean, my ex-wife, like she lived it was 3 rooms. It was 2 bedrooms and a kitchen. That was all. 2 bedrooms and a kitchen. They had an outhouse, and this is in 1980. An outhouse. They had a well. Then, I mean, they had the string, you had to, you let the string go down and you string up. That was how they had to take their baths. Had to warm up the water, get a bucket, so many buckets full and warm up the water. Outhouses are wooden. I mean, some people modernized them a little bit and put the plastic toilet seat on them, but it was like you cut a hole in the fucking, in the fucking floor or a little sit. And then you just shit in the ground. And when it gets too much, you've buried it and move it somewhere else. But this is 1980. This is 1980. Now, this is something that, and the only reason I was familiar with some of that kind of life, because my father used to, black folks used to sharecrop in Michigan. Or no, they would be out and work in the fields. Like Michigan grows strawberries, blueberries, apples. And so they would do migrant work. It was black folks that would do migrant work. And so we went into one migrant's house. When we went in there, it was like 5 or 6 niggas sleeping on the floor. We went in there because they let us in the little house, and it had no wood floor, and niggas was sleeping on the ground. And this little one, like a room about this size, maybe even smaller. It was a little house, but I mean a small 1-room little building. And it was a bunch of them where all the migrants was living. But black folks used to do that kind of work. And it was a room probably not big as this. And they was laying on the floor, and not on the dirt. They had blankets and shit down there, but they was all laying on the floor. No water, no toilet at our house. And this was probably 69, 70. Yeah, 69, 70. Still living like that. And there was a bunch of them. It was hundreds of them little houses. So that's where migrants. So it wasn't just, and that's how like really the Mexican people came to Michigan was through migrant work. And, they would hit different places. They would be centered in Chicago. From Chicago, it's pretty centralized where you would go. So a lot of the Mexican folks, migrant workers, were centralized in Chicago. And so they could easily slide into Michigan to do those season work. And then they would go to another country. But what happened is when Reagan busted up the unions, all these Mexicans, all the jobs that was paying 15, 20 back then, started paying $5 an hour, like $200 a week. And a lot of the, brothers and a lot of the Europeans was like, we ain't not going to work for that. So they said, fuck factory work. And so, the people that was willing to do the jobs and make $5 an hour back when the average was about 10, but they would work for half. And all of a sudden you look in these factories, that's all who working in there. It's Mexican folks. It's like they say now, the reason they need the migrants is saying that the black folks and the Europeans ain't going to do it. And, the brothers and sisters ain't going to work in the fields. And they saying the Europeans ain't going to work in the fields either. So if he deports a bunch of folks, who's going to do the work? And I'm sure society has changed and maybe people will be willing to do the work. I don't know. But everything is really, about each and every one of us and our perceptions. Because each of y'all doing what I got to do, to keep all this, we got to constantly do shit just like y'all do shit for y'all to be able to watch me and afford the internet. We all doing the same cycle of things to maintain. And then try to have a little joy in our life. Because I run around a lot of people. You can just see, like I was following a lady at the liquor store and I could just see she didn't have too much joy. The joy she got was in that bottle. And, and I've said before, I am an empath, but yet I can kind of read people. I can kind of get their story by just being around them. It's something that you really kind of have to keep always tight because it gets crazy as you go by so many people. So I've learned to not try to read people because it gets exhausting. When you're around a lot of people, it gets overwhelming. And it's not like voices and shit like that. It's like the story just comes up. It's like here the story comes up, there the story comes up. Almost like Dr. X, Professor X. Almost like that when he's on that mind machine. It's almost like that. That's the nearest I can explain it. And you just have to be able to turn that shit off. But sometimes when it's just me and a person, I can just get the story. And then I can feel that energy too from the story. And so it's like, oh, okay. And that, it's like the hang up too is like you can't, it makes you very judgmental too. Cause you just, you see a bunch of stupid motherfuckers and it just makes you very judgmental. That's why I was saying, if anybody caught that message I sent out earlier, that came from me. What was it? Open your mind and be joyful. Yeah. So if that hit anybody or anybody that hits anybody or not, that's okay too. Because I definitely don't want to be obtrusive. Because like I would be in meditation groups and I would be in meditation groups, and what I would do is I would bring everybody into like a room. You dig what I'm saying? And then I would project everybody up, and then that's how we would meditate. I would have everybody like basically around me. And then I thought, well, I didn't really get their permission to do that. So that's kind of intrusive. So I kind of like had to ask them, you know, is and really is like I kind of had to back out because it was like that it was too easy for me to do, so I would do it. Even when I wouldn't try to do it, I was still, next thing I know, is like me and everybody in the room. And so it's like that kind of thing. You gotta like, okay, I can't keep doing that with them. Little intrusive. So how long have I been going? Oh, 2.5 hours. What time is it? Oh, okay. All I got to do is cook canned greens. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil them because, that's all you got to do. I'm not boiling them hard ass greens all day, but I'm also going to fry bacon. And what I'm going to do is once I put it in a bowl, I'm going to put bacon inside of it and then I'm going to have crushed bacon and put it on top too. And so gotta fry some bacon. And if you ain't cooking your bacon, if you eat bacon, if you ain't cooking it in the oven, I don't, to me, all that, I don't like my house. I don't like me smelling like grease, and I don't like my house smelling like grease. So I cook bacon in the oven and it cooks it just as well. And then they got that new bacon where you can just microwave it. Put some smoked turkey in them. I didn't buy any. I didn't end up buying any. Yeah, I didn't buy any real meat for it. And I might have something here too. Now I think about it. But I just bought that little meat to put in there. And I don't like, one thing I don't like is when people put raw bacon in food. Like they don't make it crispy and they just put it in there. And I don't like that. I don't like that. They boil the bacon with something. I'm like, I don't like it like that. But yeah, if I'd have thought about it, because really it's a last minute thing. We was only supposed to bring potatoes and gravy, and I think that was it. And I was like, I'll make some greens because they don't be having greens. I've been putting my bacon in the oven lately too. Yeah. I that's last probably 10 years. That's the only way I would cook it. My daughter likes bacon, so I'll make some for her. But the rest of the pack, I'm gonna end up. What my daughter don't eat, I'm gonna put in the greens. I'll say that because it's not a whole. I think we ate 4 pieces, so it's probably about 8 or 9 in there now, maybe. So should have probably bought more bacon, but that's all right. I don't care. I just wanted some greens because that's mostly what I eat. As I said, I don't eat pork, not really. I feel you. I can stand that uncooked bacon and shit. Yeah. Like you get pork and beans a lot of times, and the shit ain't cooked. It's that raw type of bacon, and I don't really like pork and beans like that. I want to cook the bacon first, then put it in the food. That's how I feel. I don't like the chopped up little uncooked pieces. Yeah. So, but the good thing about tomorrow is a day of football. That's the good thing. Matter of fact, when I think the first game comes on at noon. Well, let's see. Ugh. Here we go. Oh, wow. I wonder if this is my time. Yeah, I think so. So the game comes on early. It says 11:30, which I think is 11:30 my time. And then the Giants and Cowboys come on at 3, and the last game is at 7. Yeah, that would be about right. Yeah, so yeah, this is all converted to my time. So it'd be 12:30 for Eastern time, 12:30, 4:30. Yeah, I think so. So those are the games tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah. The game comes on early, so games come on early tomorrow. So yeah, Eastern time is 12:30, so 11:30 my time. So when I get up, I'm a set the alarm now. Get my punk ass up at 11, start cooking them greens. Put some seasoning in them motherfuckers. I think the potatoes we just gotta warm up. She bought them from Hy-Vee. Yeah, I ain't gonna get up till 11. Then cook, get up and cook. I'm gonna cook my daughter breakfast, and yeah. So was it 3? That give me a few hours of sleep. I don't know. It's like when you start like so often when you see shows where they say once they become aware of how things are, once they become aware that you can never go back. So it's like this. It's like this. There's things you can see and you can never unsee, and that's kind of like it is when the old way you'd say when you'd wake up, you can never go back to sleep. Like when Cypher wanted to go back in the Matrix, it don't work like that. Once you are out there and you see, once you break out, you're out for good. There's no way to go be put back to sleep unless drugs or death. So that's really like never the choice that you really get is the choice to go back to sleep. And so beware of that. Be aware. If you like teetering on, do you want to fully be aware, or you kind of just want to go with the flow of the way things are and believe everything on the news and everything your friends tell you and not really look behind the veil at all? Don't even acknowledge there is a veil, because a lot of people would rather not. They would rather be, those what do they say? Not what do they call NC something, the people that ain't the real players of the game. NPCs. I mean, like when you're in a traffic jam, doesn't that seem like, how is it possible to have a traffic jam? How is it possible that 3,000 people are out here on the highway at the same time? Almost seems like a program, doesn't it? And if you look at it from above, it seems like a kind of program with the way the cars is all lined up. And I've said before, there's definitely entities that feed off that. Entities that feed off the pollution, and entities that feed off the movement of the roads. As I call the troll under the bridge. That feed off our energies while we in the cars. I mean, we feed that thing. That's why, no matter what transportation, they say, okay, we'll make the cars. We want to keep cars going. We don't want to give you the flying cars like there's any other reality, because then you won't be feeding this beast. You won't be rolling over it, charging it. So we can't let you have the flying cars, because then they don't get fed anymore down there. And even like accidents and shit, it's beasts that feed off of that. Like when you get into like what really also spiritually benefits a war is a phantom. A phantom feeds off war. It feeds off all that death and carnage. It gives it energy. So why you ask cats that's been in them wars where a bunch of people got killed around them, they ain't seeing them strange creatures out there sucking up them souls, sucking up that energy. The same thing in an accident, and phantoms be there. I mean, it's a little lesser phantom, but still, there's things that feed off that. But the big beast, the big entity, can't have them too many because it make people scared to be on them. So it tames them. They ain't out there that much. But they know it's so many of them that they gonna get to feed too. And they're patient enough, and it works for them. It works for them because it's always there every day. They're going to constantly get fed because there's always a risk of them things. It's like, do you think a beast feeds on planes? Planes don't crash that often, so there's no real fear there. Planes are way more efficient than cars. The way they move them and move you through, and how far they can take you. And they can take you there pretty safe. Well, I think I'm going to get into the, did I do this right? I didn't do it right. Yeah, I did. I think when I did it, the time would change. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, it's day 0 of the long count, which means 13 batoons, 0 katoons, 12 tunes, 2 unos, and 0 kin. The token date is 9 Ajal. The Habib date is 3 Mach, and Lord 4. Lord of the Night is G4. They don't know who they are because they're Omic. The Lords of the Night, which are on this bottom row of his sarcophagus, is the Lords of the Night. So the pictures that are on that poster that circle it are all the Lords of the Night. So today is looked at different kind of ways. Calling it day 0 is really 0 day is 20. It's 21. 1320 is the rhythm, but you have 0 day, and then you have 21. But 20 is generally the 0 day. And so for 0 day is staccato, or it means flower. Staccato or flower. Staccato translates from the Tol language as flower and is a term that the ancient Toltec used to refer to their highest abstract concept. It is the closing symbol of the Tanalapali and the one that opens the new account of the cycle that starts over again. From the time of the Tutankhamun and even before, the Toltec divided knowledge to many different sciences and specialties, including architecture, medicine, psychology, mathematics, astronomy, painting, poetry, agriculture, time cycle studies, and shamanism. Well, that's their word. A unique aspect of Tolokyato was the fact that the mathematics-based science and the science of the soul were not seen as completely separate, but as complementary and reciprocal. The one area of knowledge that was deemed to be superior of all others was Shakano in Katala. This important term, which translates the flower and the singing, was not related to cultivating garden flowers or writing songs. Although the two activities were highly valued, the meaning of the philosophical concept is deeper than the two words that are part of the name. The closest translation that I can imagine is poetry. In the highest, deepest sense of that word, poetry is much more than writing rhymes or romantic endeavor. It's almost magical capacity to transcend the limitations of reason beyond physical, connecting with everything surrounding us in a way that beyond space and time. And that is kind of the idea of what Lemuria was, where Lemuria, we were all the same. We could communicate with the grass. We could communicate with everything. That's why the Tower of Babel story also talks about when we lost the fact to communicate with nature. It's also a story about that, is where we stopped the communication with nature. And that's what Lemuria was supposed to be, where we communicate with nature, a civilization that was all in sync. What was the Disney movie with the blue people? Remember, they was all in sync with everything, the tree and everything. What functions in that realm is not reason, but the silent knowledge. That experience is the core of shamanism. Those who devoted to the supreme science was entitled to the highest consideration in Toltec society. They had a special name, Tamalatatine, for those women and men of knowledge that were devoted to Shaktal and Koktrial. The term Shaktal represents the image of the flower, means for spiritual vision attained in the states of non-ordinary reality. The flower then is the symbol of spiritual revelation. Sound like weed to me. uh, all right, the general meaning. Two meanings. The first one is flowering of something that has been expected for a long time. The second meaning is a vision that comes from heightened awareness. Actually, these two meanings are very related because cultivating heightened awareness in your life brings the flower in what you have been seeking for so long. The blossoming of your dreams in your life enhances your awareness. Overall, Sakali is a very positive card. In the first line of interpretation, the flower card is telling you you have waited long enough. Your waiting has not been passive. You have been nurturing your seed for a long time. You've watered your seed in the proper way. Now you're entering into a happy period of blooming. Make the best of it because of life and cycles is always changing. The time of flowering is a special moment for well-being and happiness. How are you going to sustain the happiness of flowering? How can you make the most of it? This is when the second meaning comes to provide for the equilibrium and spiritual depth that you need to handle your flowering moment in the best possible way. You need to accompany this moment of success with a highly awareness that Shotakto represents. When you're in the middle of the joy, live it fully, but remind yourself that this too will pass. The happiness and success of today does not guarantee the success of tomorrow. Ask yourself, what is the flowering coming from? How did I manage to get this magical moment? It is not a coincidence. You earned it with your dedication and with two important elements that work together. Your strategy and planning, your commitment action on the one hand, and your alliance with the spirit on the other. The realization is very important because it reminds you of what it is that you have to do in order to succeed in your external and external world. In the moment of joy, remember the spirit. Make sure that you can have the time and space to be thankful and to keep your connection with the sacred clean. This is the only way you can balance your moment of joy and success with powerful experience achieving heightened awareness. So, hope that's helpful on that side. And on the Mayan and Omen side, zero or 20 is called planet Venus. There's reward energy that signals a change in the way the world is viewed. Health improves, the mind the mind brightens. There's a blossoming of confidence that enables a difficult work to reach completion. A peace is achieved and a timelessness perceived so that the flow of things is seen and recognized. Success is achieved through a mixture of chance and care. So tomorrow is the color is blood red, the value is awareness, and the tone is C. And the direction is north to south, center, north to south. Here the food achieves great revelation as divine nature has become manifest. The twin aspects of the serpent have joined in one body. The fool is shaken off his old ways. His past is dead, and the pleasure of growth and symbolism by the sun is at an end. The individual elements of the psyche has achieved full integration. The serpent has learned to fly, for now the fool travels his own path and leaves no trail. None may follow. There is no footprints to act as a guide. Nothing is disturbed. All the fool's actions are complete, and there is no drag from the past. No push into the future. The fool is free at last. His work has just begun. The fool has become the feather serpent. The myth has been achieved reality. Feather serpent has returned to claim his kingdom as he's promised, and the great secret is revealed. Life exists in order that one may live, and there is no meaning beyond living. When the fool searched for meaning in life, he had expectations and reaped the reward of disappointment. Life is not meaningless. It can never be meaningless, for it has never had a meaning. Since life has no meaning, it is destructive for the fool to search for meaning. Life is simply is and no purpose at all. There is no significance to life apart from living. From all else follows. So I hope that resonates with somebody. Hope that hits you in your protons, baby. It's funny, people do cards, like You can get so deep, as I said before, you can carry the cards with you all the time, so the cards really know you. It's like my crystals I carry with me all the time. You know, they know me. And when you deal with things like this, pendulums is the same way. You should carry that shit if you use it. If you're deep into it like that. You see, I keep this in I got this I bought the liquor just to get the bottle or this. But that's what I keep my cards in to protect them. So, oh. So, just a little push there that if that resonates with anybody, if anybody's at that period of completion, just know that, enjoy it, enjoy it while it's here, but yet have the vision. It's like, when you drive on you're planning to make a trip, also envision you coming back and envision what you got to do when you come back. So it's the same thing as you get this super high, envision what you got to do to kind of maintain the high. And if it dips, envision what you got to do to make it, not dip. So don't just be, see one side of it. That's why I say travel is the easiest way to give you an example. See both sides of the travel. Just don't say, well, I'm driving to Chicago. No. Also see that return coming back. Get that part in your psyche too. As you plan for that trip, and then you're like, oh, okay, returning here. So that means I got to get ready this certain time there to make it here. See it all. Have the full vision. Don't just be stuck on one part of the vision or one part of the trip. Feel it all, Feel the good. Not saying, feel the joy, feel the bliss. And still understand disappointment. At the same time, say respect disappointment. It's like, even though you feeling as good, as high as you can feel, just somewhere just think, okay, this feels good because this is the alternative. This disappointment is the alternative to this feeling here, the disappointment. That's why my wife asked me, have I ever been hurt by a woman? I haven't really been hurt, but I've been disappointed. Like, I've never been broken by a woman, but I've been very disappointed in them. And so I don't need to talk bad. I mean, I know times I give examples, but it's like the example I give you, the people ain't that no more. They've changed their lives and they're better than those examples. So I really, it's wrong of me to put their narrative out there because they ain't like that no more. But they did experience that bullshit before, But you can't dwell on that. You get older like me, you don't dwell on those kind of things. You're like, okay, this is what they're capable of. So, you always deal with them from an arm's length. This is what you're capable of. But I don't know. I have so much fun. And doing this is just fun. And talking off the cuff is fun. But I got to get PJ on here so y'all can hear his ideas. So hit me up. Let me know. I got to get this bullshit thing going. Whatever this is called. It's been hooked up and I ain't really did it. So what is it called? Discord. So I got to get this going. It's been up and I just get too lazy to fuck with it. But I like to hear what everybody got to say and let somebody come on and talk too. So I'm going to mark off. Yeah. Oh, I'm okay. I'm almost up at 3 hours. And 3 hours is probably enough. Ain't nobody going to listen to 3 hours. So I want to appreciate everybody that came in, everybody that watches in the future. I appreciate it. If any of this helps you just a little bit, that's good. To all my melanated folks out there, again, don't call it that name. Don't think about it like that. Think about it, the enjoyment of your family. And, why they gave you the time off for this is in my title. This is trying to get over their guilt. So they want to celebrate cooperation when, even today, it ain't no real cooperation. So, but, enjoy your family. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time off. Most of you don't have to go until Monday or sometime. Enjoy your time off. Enjoy your time with your loved ones. that, you probably don't see every day. I'm not going to be grouchy. I'm going to go over my brother-in-laws and see everybody. I get grouchy and stuff, but I'm going to do it to make my woman happy to show up with me. And my mom's going and my son's going. So a couple sons going and my daughter. So I'm going in there like 5, 6 deep. Oh yeah, then my son's girl. So, we get in there about 5, 6 deep, you can dig. So feel loved, y'all. Feel love. Give love, show love. And don't forget to love yourself. Don't forget to love yourself more than anything, because that's all you have. And I'm not saying be a narcissistic. I'm saying love yourself in the correct way. Have great self-love, and from that self-love be a building block and an example of all the other love that's out there. So this is Big Pontiac coming to you on, we're doing this, give you a day off.